I'm doing my speech for the new consumption analysis project on a long-term family friend. His name is Dustin. He is a friend of my parents, and they've known each other for about 20 something years already. I'm doing it on media fanatic. He's almost on it as much as I am, and I just feel like he's super relatable when it comes to like media, pop culture, just like in general, like the news consumption that he does intake. So he grew up in Mendota and he worked in the fields. He went to Fresno State and got his degree in ag business. And currently working at the water district in town. And so, like I was saying earlier, he is really active on consuming media. Um, and when I was asking him the questions earlier about, or when I had did this interview, about like how different it is, how he consumes his media now than what he used to, he let me know that like it's just so much more accessible, and it like although like there is a lot of information that he does take, he's able to fact check a lot more things and more easily than what he used to. So he said growing up he was only really able to watch TV or like shows in general before or after school. um, and when he had to work all day, it's not like he really was up to sitting down and watching TV. He would rather sleep because he knew he had to get up in the morning. So I think that was really interesting how like time has changed and technology has advanced so much that like he in general like has like seen different stages of how he got his media. So at first he was reading it on newspapers, then he got to the news, then you get to the phones, and then like everything's on your phone now. So like, or then you have your computers and then you have your phones. So I thought it was really cool how like he kind of like lived through all the, like, um, I guess. So like further in our discussion, he was talking to me about how now like he loves to read the newspaper, but I was telling him like, okay, that's such a like old man thing to do because no one really reads newspapers nowadays. But he was saying like in college, like he really got in the habit of like getting up in the morning, reading the newspaper, going to school, meeting his friends, like one of those things. And it really did like change his mindset to like how printed media like was such a big like format. So then we also went on to discuss like how like before he never really fact checked anything, and now like he always has to fact check things like two or three articles. He likes to like make sure that there's like at least two or three articles that state like kind of like the same thing, and how he is really really for podcasts right now too. Just because of the whole like you get to choose who you want to listen to, and essentially you can either be like really informative, really entertaining, and there's really not like like censorship. Like I feel like you can like say whatever you want. And yeah, he thinks it's really cool. He really loves podcasts. um and says it's like a better purpose for he would rather listen to the podcast than listen to TV, and it's like his form of entertainment. And also we were kind of just discussing like how different generations like can either evolve with the time and like grow with the like media like consumption, or you stay with your old ways, which is why like I wrote in like my essay how like I thought it was interesting how like you really have those kind of people that read the newspaper still or read their phone. And I think that's why like newspaper is kind of like dying down, is because you don't really have that many people going out of their way to buy the newspaper, or just like wanting to like pay for it, I guess, when you have it all on your phone and you're paying for your phone or like your Wi-Fi. So when I was telling Dustin about like how I look at the news, I was telling him like I usually kind of just focus on like either like the Fresno Bee stuff, or like when I get home I turn on ABC 30 and watch like our local news. And I think like that, I feel like for my age, not a lot of people do that. And a lot of my friends, they don't really do that. So when I was asking them, they're like, you watch the news? So I thought that was really interesting how like I kind of really have that habit to always do that just because my mom always does it. And as for social media, I definitely feel like my social media feed is more based on like trendy things, like more like clothes, like kind of fashion in general. Um, and I just don't think I follow that many like news outlets on social media just because I feel like I can get it on the Apple News. But I just definitely think that like this was like an interesting conversation that I was having with him because it's just you never really know what's the truth until you fact check everything. And like I think like in our age today that's so important to like do because you can follow one thing on social media and then like completely believe it, but then like when you really go and look for the story, it's not it. um so like in total, like in conclusion, kind of basically with this whole article or like this whole interview, I thought it was really interesting knowing how like he grew up on like completely different news consumptions, media, just like outlets of media, and how like he really still sticks with reading the newspaper, watching the news, fact checking, kind of using all through what he's learned throughout the years, and how like different I am to that because I really only either watch the news and either check it online or I don't really check it at all. So it was just kind of interesting to see how like the different opportunities we have like in our generation to be aware of things. Um,